Hi guys, it's Belle here and welcome back for what is the 6th prompt for December, but it is the 10th of December. So first things first, let's open up our little mini calendar. Day 10 is here, right in the window. Let's have a look. What is that? Oh, it's a little horn. Trying to get that to focus. Can you guys see that? It's a little, there we go. It's a little horn. How cute is that? So it is December 10th. Well, when this video goes up, it will be December 10th and 12th. December 10th. Oh my gosh. What are words today? It's going to be one of those days. So today's prompt is altered pocket and texture fragments, and I'm kind of going to dedicate mine, or the inspiration of mine, to Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. I also wanted to show you, so this is the card we made last, which was journal card and beloved visitor. And I used my dad, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. I just wanted to show you that I made a pocket, or I decorated the pocket that it's in off camera. I used some vintage map behind as well, then used some of my vintage stone pattern paper, which I'm using a lot in here. I do have a lot of it, so you know, it says shorts and front there. It's got 2 little arrows and the number 7, and then I've just used a label, use your wings, and some fabric, and I just think that works perfectly with the journaling card, and I really like how that turned out. So as I said, today's is inspired by 49 Dragonflies. If you don't know, if you remember, I forgot to say at the start, is hosted, created by the wonderful Louisa Heinzel and Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. The links to their channels will be down below. But Barbara likes to work with denim a lot and make journals out of denim. So I went out and purchased this tiny little skirt. I loved it because it's also got the lace at the bottom, and I was thinking, not only am I getting denim, but I'm getting some lace. Love the button. It also has this amazing tag with the star, so love that. Even like the inside label, because it's fabric, and you can see I've already removed a pocket from the back. So we're going to be using this pocket on here. I want it coming out the bottom a little bit. I want this, we've already got some stuff poking out, and I just thought having the denim poking out the bottom too, I kind of love it, like the denim, and we've got stuff out the top. It's giving it that real stuffed look. I've tried to keep the thread on here. It's obviously coming away from the fabric a little bit, where I obviously removed it from the other fabric, but I don't mind, that adds to it. There was some holes. I've already started to make these like larger and really pull at them. I love that. I don't want to add another. It already looks distressed. So we're going to work on the pocket first. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to bring in a little bit of just plain white gesso. I need to have my cloth nearby because I am going to be using my finger tool. Oh, ugh, yuck. Just one little bit on here, and I just kind of want to put this on the denim, more down here really. It adds a little bit more white and brings out some of that texture. I've put it up there, but really I need it down here. Now it's very faint because already the fabric itself is quite distressed, but that's okay because I want to stamp on here, and I just think having the gesso might give it a better background to stamp on. And then I'm just going to put it in places as a little accent. So I don't know if realistically I need to do this, but I have. So we're doing it. Let me actually bring you down a little bit. Okay, I think that's a bit better. Do you know what? Let's move the book, the journal, because we don't need that right now. Just going to make sure there's no blobs on there. Okay. Using the cloth works too. Rubs it off a little bit and helps to smooth it in. And my finger doesn't get quite as gessoed. Okay, so I was thinking, you know how it says texture fragments? Well, I was thinking about patchwork, that you do patchwork on on clothes. But I was thinking, instead of doing patchwork just with fabric, we can bring in some actual texture. So like I've got some of this corrugated card that's also got some gesso on it. I do want to bring in maybe a little bit of fabric, and we can bring in some of this burlap because it is a texture fragment. So I want to bring in some of that, and I want it to almost be, yeah, like a, you know, like a patch on the back of the pocket. And then I've got these fun things. These are from the spine of a vintage book. And I was wondering, I kind of love that. And I could put something on there. I also absolutely love the texture of that. Could I use both? Could I use both? I'm going to be stitching across. So, do you know what? I kind of love this one. This one's fun because I like the way that it's you've got the white texture here and the brown. That's quite fun. I mean, we could do that, couldn't we? We're not going to see any of the brown texture then. We could almost have it as a tab somewhere. Maybe that's what I'll do. So I want to first, before I do that, that's dry now, I want to bring in some stamps, and I want to try and stamp. I really don't know how well this will work because, in all honesty, I haven't done this before. I think I've seen Barbara do it before, but do you know what? We're just going to have a go. And I'm using the Tim Holtz Field Notes CMS 396 on here. I basically just want this text bit. Remember, you don't have to use all your stamp. You can just use part of it. So and I'm using my black Stays On because I think that will work best. And I'm really going to hold it down to try and get that ink to sink into the fabric. I don't know if it's going to work. I guess we're going to see. Oh, we get something. We do get something. That's not too clear. Maybe if I use a number, it'll be better. So let's do that instead. I mean, we're trying things. And this is not something I've ever done before. Oh yeah, the number comes out much better. I like that. Let's use another number somewhere. There's going to be lots of numbers on here anyway, because I do want to put a 49 on this page. In that number there, do you see that? It's okay. I mean, we've got, what we have to remember is we've got this here. So we don't need lots. I do need something here. So let's have a look. I was wondering if, I don't know. I feel like I want this little round one. I don't know how well this will work because it's got very fine print on it. And what I'm finding is the finer the print on the stamp, the less likely it is to show. Well, that's what I'm finding. I mean, it does show up a little bit. Do you see that? Oh, I like it. I like it. Let's just get another number. Because again, if I bring this back, we've got that here. And I feel like here's a bit, or here's a bit lacking. Let's get that there. So, that's smudged a little bit. It's left some kind of inking, so it's still adding to the overall texture. It's just a bit not the clearest print, but that's okay. Got that there. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that. Oh, I wonder about though. after saying, I think I'm happy with that. I wonder about, now this is only little, so I don't think it's going to show up very well. But, and this is all crinkled, but I was thinking about maybe adding it up here. So just going to do that. I mean, you can't see that at all, can you? So that was a waste of time, but we tried it, and that's what matters. Okay, then we're going to move that. I'm going to move this back, and then we're going to glue down our snippets. I'm very excited. Earlier today, we went and visited our son. He's at university, so we went to thankfully his university isn't too far away, so we visit like every other week. We go down. I know that might seem extreme, but my son is neurodivergent, and this is his first time, well, this is his sort of first time living away from home properly. His brother's actually in the same town. They went to the same university, so that's good. But he just likes us to visit every other week. He's going to be coming home soon, so that'll be lovely. But we went and visited him, and his town has a Christmas market, so that was a lot of fun. Now, here's the thing. Before I go further with this, I can't actually glue this down yet. There is some other stuff I want to do. Let's bring the page back. But I need to kind of use my pencil to kind of mark where the top of this is sort of going to go, because what I want to bring in, more there. What I want to bring in is I have another fragment, and it is a piece of canvas paper. I used this, sorry, I'm over here. I used this in the Tracy Fox collaboration, DD Advent 2024. I was one of the creators in that. I'll leave my video down below in case you haven't seen it. I was day 8, and I love working with canvas art paper because you can print on it and it does fray a little bit, which I love. And I want to put this, because I've got it left over, I kind of want to put it behind there, but I want to put 49 on it. So what I need to do is I need to work out what 49 I want. I've got 2 stamps, 2 different sizes. I feel like I want the bigger size, which will then determine. I've got a 4. It will have to come up to there. Okay, and I'm also then going to just put a line roughly where that needs to go to, and about here. Okay, brilliant. Because before we do that, I'm going to do something that, again, is sort of inspired by Barbara. Because for the last few years, sorry, I'm trying to find a paintbrush. For the last couple of years, Barbara's been enjoying working with brighter colours. So this is the brightest colour that's been in this journal so far, but then the whole thing's a bit different to the rest of the journal. And this is just Rose Fluorescent 371. It's just basic acrylic. And I'm literally just going to, I don't want it over. Like, I kind of want to still see some white. I don't want to cover the whole thing. And also I don't want it so bright that it's a problem. I mean, I never used to work with pink at all, but this year, especially during Junk Journal January and July, we don't need it all down there, do we? Because this is going to be, I actually started adding pink, and then I started using it in my Marguerite Miller makes. Pink is not my colour. It says me wearing a dress today that's got little pops of pink on it, but it's a Christmas Disney dress, so you know, pops of pink are good on that. But yeah, it's not something I normally work with, but I thought on here it might be fun, because Barbara's been enjoying working with brighter colours, that it might be fun to kind of bring this in as a pop of colour. Oh my gosh, I need to move it over here, as a pop of colour against the denim. That's what I thought might be fun. Yeah. And then what I want to do to that before I actually do any stamping on there, I don't know how the stamping is going to work. I'm just going to take my Posca paint pen and I'm going to go around it. I could have stitched around it. I don't need to do the bottom. I'm going to go around with two kind of slightly wonky lines like so. And as I said, I don't know. I'm going to make sure this is 100% dry before I start trying to stamp 49 on it. Okay, so that should now be dry. And in case I didn't show you, it's just the Posca black paint pen. So there we go. That's the one I used. Again, I could have... Where did my stamps go? I could have used stitching, but I haven't. So there we go. Sometimes it's just fun to change things up again. Of course, then sometimes it just doesn't feel like a you page. But this isn't meant to be a me page. It's meant to be a me inspired by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies page. And also, I know she adds a lot of stitching, so realistically I could still add some stitching. I am going to add stitching, but in a different way. So we're going to... I want to print this out. I don't think I've used these, so I just want to print it out. Ah, that's a brilliant impression. I just like to do that with new stamps that I haven't used. Sometimes you get them and open them, especially these silicone ones, and they're a little bit sticky. And if you try and use them to begin with, sometimes it can bring your paper up and stuff. So I always like, if I've not used a stamp before, to stamp it off on a piece of scrap paper. You can see this is my stamping paper, which I just keep on my desk, and I just like to print it off on there sometimes a few times until I'm happy with the impression before then starting to... I don't want to lift this up because if it hasn't made a good impression. I mean, we've got the 49, haven't we? Yeah, okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Let's look what that will look like here. This is all about stopping and checking quite a lot. Okay, I don't mind that. Now, this is where we're going to bring in some stitching. I have some of my threads. I'm trying to work out which one's going to work better because I want to stitch on here. I think that's quite good, but I don't know if it's going to pop the way I want it to, whereas that will. But this is more this colour. But that's more that colour. This is a bit darker. I'm looking through the camera to see which I think works better. I think this one does, which I'm surprised about. Okay, let me get my needle from my little sewing book. It's going to have to be... I don't know if this is going to be sharp enough. Okay, well, if I have to, I'll use my awl to make some holes. I know Barbara likes to hand stitch sometimes on her projects. I love to hand stitch on my projects. The reason being that cross stitch, I've also got some Madeira 404 here. Cross stitch is my my other preferred medium. That's the thing that I did for years before I did any kind of paper crafting at all, is cross stitch. I'm also going to bring in some gold thread. So this is going to get exceedingly chunky, and in case you didn't know, working with metallic thread can be a nightmare. So yeah, this is going to get chunky. I'm not even sure this is going to go through this needle. I might need to grab one of my other sewing needles. We're going to see. We're going to see. Okay, that doesn't want to go through. That's okay. Let me grab a different needle. Might even have one in my, because I think I need my awl anyway. Hold on. Okay, I thought what I'll do is I'll use one of my bookbinding needles because one, it should be quite sharp, and two, it should get the thread through. I mean, that just seems too big. So I'm going to try and thread this again. Where's my ends? There are tools that can help you thread, but I'm gonna try and thread this. Normally it's not a problem, but like I'm using quite a lot of thread here and I can't get close. I can't see what I'm doing very well. So most of it went through. Do you know what? Hold on a minute, guys. All right then, so I got it through. I needed to get it up to my eye. Okay, this is much longer. We need to cut this off. I needed to get it up to my eye because I'm old. I'm getting older and my eyesight's going. I remember going to the opticians a few years ago. I've always needed glasses since I was little. Well, I really started wearing them full time by the time I was like 18, 20, something like that. And wondering if I can, like, I want a starting hole to kind of be able to come through. And I remember going to the opticians a few years ago to, like, you know, get an update, and I was thinking, I really feel like I need maybe reading glasses. And I got there and he was like, oh yeah, your eyes have deteriorated. Can I ask if you're on your phone a lot? You use computers a lot? Because that tends to be an issue. And I was like, no, I just craft. And he was like, oh. I went, yeah, I craft. I specifically do a lot of needle crafts, and I also obviously do these, make these kind of things. I said, and on top of all that, I read constantly, all the time. If I'm not crafting, I'm reading, unless I'm having to do actual life stuff, which, you know, gets in the way of our crafting and reading. And he was like, oh, well, I've never had that answer before. And I was thinking, yeah, because it's not phone or laptops. To be honest, if I'm not having to work and do this, if I'm not crafting on camera and stuff and doing all the stuff for the videos, why is that not cutting properly? I think it's because there's so many threads. I just don't like being anywhere near a laptop or a phone. So yeah, I'm so used to starting from the right hand side when I stitch that I kind of want to do that. So yeah, it was the stitching. And now I'm at that age where I kind of need reading glasses, not for reading, but for my stitching. So yeah, that's fun. I want to bring in the pink. Obviously, it has to have a little bit of sparkle and gold on there. But yeah, it just made me laugh because that's the answer they were used to. People going, yeah, I'm on my phone all the time. Even with, like, I don't judge people who do that because I think it's very normal now in today's society. You see everyone walking down the road and they're just on their phone, and I'm thinking, like, where are you going? And then you get toy phones for kids and stuff now, which I suppose we had when our kids were younger. You know, you get the little plastic, but they were the ones on wheels and things, whatever that was. So, you know, kids mimic what they see around them. But I just think that's just not me. If I'm even standing for 5 minutes somewhere, I've got my book out. I just, yeah. And it's when people go, I really need a social media detox, or I need to not be scrolling and stuff. And I'm like, it's just not me. What I have to remind myself is, do not pick up a book first thing in the morning when you're having your breakfast, because you need to actually do some other stuff first before you do any of that. So yeah, but that's why I had to move the thread, because I'm not wearing my glasses because I wouldn't be able to then see what I'm doing on the mat. So yeah, that's just a funny little weird story that I'm sharing. There we go. I don't know where that hole was, so we're just going to make one. That's the good thing with this being my bookbinding needle, that it's large. And this is just a little piece of foam. I can't even remember what that came in, that little piece of foam, but I thought, oh my gosh, that's so good to use for when I'm having to punch holes with my pokey tool and things. So yeah, so cross stitch was my first craft, and I've been doing that for, oh my gosh, almost 30 years now. Yeah, at least 30 years, probably over that actually. And if you've been on my channel any length of time, you would have seen some of the cross stitches that I have shared and things like that. And I'll definitely be doing more of that next year. I've got a bit of an idea actually around that. So yes, so I thought, as Barbara likes to add hand stitching, and as I also like to add a lot of hand stitching, and we've got the sparkle with the golden thread, but we've got the pink, I thought what a good idea to bring that in onto the actual pocket. I just really like that. And I think we're going to use this leftover gold thread as well. So the other thing I was thinking, but I don't know where to put these, is I had some of the Tim Holtz, I did have some of the Tim Holtz rub-ons, and I know the white works really well. I don't know how well it will work on denim, but I know it works really well on like darker acetate and stuff. So creative art, yeah, let's have creative art on there. I was going to use my stitching scissors, thread cutters to cut this. That's not what I want to be doing. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. And if you don't know what those are, sorry. It's the Tiny Text Remnant Rub-Ons, and it is TH93695. 93695, yeah. Right, where did that go to? We're going to see if this is any good at all. And if it isn't, it isn't. But I want to try it. So that's all we can do. So yeah, I wanted to dedicate this kind of page as inspiration by Barbara. I love the fact that she uses denim. I love using fabric in my art anyway. Like, I love the texture of fabric and thread. I love adding stitching, both machine and hand, to my projects. And but I've never actually worked with denim, which is quite funny actually in one way, because my sewing machine is called the Denim, because I specifically bought the one that is created to work with denim to be stitched, because I knew that as denim is quite a thick fabric, that means that my sewing machine is able to go through more layers and thicker fabric should I need it. But I've never actually used, oh my gosh, that worked. I love it. Oh my gosh, I actually do love that. What he needs to now do is bring out some numbers and things in this white text. I feel like I want something else on there. It should have note to self, create art, or create art, explore. We could do that. Possibly. Oh, I love that. I actually really, really do love that. See? And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't been thinking about it. And thinking about, oh, I love all that. Okay, so we've got that. And then I wanted to bring in, this was not Barbara, but this is me. I love using these in my crafts. They're just the perforated ends of some paper. And when I tea dye, I love to keep them because obviously they get tea dyed too. And they're just a fun little scrap to bring in. I was wondering about that, which would mean this would need to move up a smidge. But that's okay. I just like to bring that in. And then we've got both textures. We still had this. And I was looking at bringing this in as almost like a little label. You know, you get labels on clothes. Do we like that, or is it too busy now? Okay, maybe not that. Oh, I do have a little black scrap, which might be quite fun to do that and that. Or do we just want the black scrap? This is what I mean. It's all about playing now and seeing what I want and where. I like everything kind of off to an edge a little bit. I don't want it all lined up. Like so. I kind of like that. Now, the other thing we're going to bring in is this golden dragonfly. One, we all know Barbara loves gold, but two, this was gifted to me by a crafting friend many years ago. She gifted me a load of these kind of die cuts, and I've been hoarding them because unfortunately she isn't with us anymore, and I thought it would be really nice. Now I'm wondering, do I want it on the pocket? I thought it would be really nice to use this in this journal. One, because I like using these in journals that I'm going to keep. Again, because it's special. And two, well, yeah, mainly that, it's special. And I've been hoarding them for so long. Oh, I like that too. And that makes the dragonfly pop a bit more against the white. Do we like it? I feel like the dragonfly's not popping. Maybe I'll bring in some black thread. Maybe that would be fun. I mean, I do like this. Maybe we could just use half of it. This is just some Brusho crystal dyed paper that I then embossed. Maybe just bring in a scrap of it and the dragonfly will pop more. I think I like that. What do we think? I think I do like that. Right, so what I need to do is I need to glue this on here using my fabric glue on here. But yeah, so I've been hoarding them dragonflies and other little bits that she sent me because, you know, they're special. And then it's lovely to use them in these kind of makes. So let's get this on here again. I want it over to the side, which means now this needs to come up a bit more. So let's use that pencil mark again. Kind of here, so I know where that's going. Although we're about to cover it. Do you know what I'll do? How about doing this side bell that's not going to be covered? How about we do that? That might work better, do you think? Oh dear me. Let's just ink the edges of these. Do I want this edge ripped and torn, or do I want it? No, I don't want it ripped and torn. That's not like me. Who am I? Who am I? I'm wondering, do I want to use a brad? I love using brads. I love, 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 love those. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to do a bit of a Barbara today as well, where I'm just kind of thinking, okay, well, what do I want to do? How am I going to use it? Do you know what I might have? I could use that, but I might also have some pink brad. So let's have a look. I just think this is really a fun way of, we could bring in a little pink heart. We've got a little pink square. I really wanted a round one. We've got a really pale pink one. What's this? This is a flower. I don't think I wanted that either. I wanted a round one. How have I got every other shape? Hold on. There's a pink one. And they're very pale pink though, so I don't know if I like those. Yeah, it's a fun way, guys, to kind of really be inspired by your favourite crafters in a bit of a different way. So we could use the little pink heart on here. We have got the flower. I think I really like the pink heart. Let's move these a minute. And then what I need to do is, that's going to be there. So that's going to be about there, which means this is going to be about here. So I'm just going to punch a hole in there. Let's not do it on the pocket. Ooh. And also it makes me think of my friend. I'm wondering about putting like some of these gold threads underneath it as well, you know, because they were what was left over from my embroidery floss, and we could have those underneath as well. Barbara's always adding gold threads, isn't she? I want them to stand out a bit more. Do you know what? The problem is with the Madeira, it's not really like other embroidery floss where you can just normally embroidery floss comes with 6 threads, and then so you can use whatever you need to use, and you know, you can use all 6. Normally if I'm cross stitching, it will be no more than 2 threads, or sometimes 3 depending on the project and the fabric. I did that now and I don't actually know if it's in the right place, but with Madeira it's kind of just the 1 thread, so that's where that is a little bit where did the heart go to? Are you guys screaming at the there it is. I heard you if you were. I've done that in a few videos where I've thought I've lost something and you guys down below have said we were yelling at the screen. I heard you this time. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, I want the little pink heart on there. I just think it, yeah. Firstly, reminds me of my friend, and secondly, because I just love Barbara's creations. So that's super cute. Let's add this back. And then we're going to have our pocket. And then this will go behind with the dragonfly on top, and the dragonfly will poke out a little bit. Oh, it's very, very cute. So let's try and glue, had a brad under there. Let's kind of glue this one in place just down the bottom. I can come in and do all the rest in a minute. Just down the bottom, like so. And then we're going to bring our 49 in. And obviously it's going to need gold splatters. I say obviously, realistically I think I'd prefer to do black splatters, but it wouldn't be inspired by Barbara if there wasn't gold splatters on there, would it? It wouldn't be inspired by her if it wasn't. Okay, let's get firstly the lid on this glue, and secondly let's bring in the fabric glue, because I really need to hold this denim down in place like so. And then this becomes a pocket with nothing in it. Actually, I might add something in it, but I don't know. Okay. Oh, what have I done? All right, well, that's no good. Not right down the bottom, Belle. Not right down here, because that's actually going to poke out the bottom, isn't it? That's okay. We'll go across here instead, and then we can go in and fix it should we need to. So yeah, this is just fun. Maybe pick a creator that you are really inspired by a lot, especially when you're doing something like this. I'm going to have to think of a page for Louisa now. And use what you have, but bring in the elements that remind you of that creator. I really feel like black splatters would work a lot better on here. And I'm also wondering about, we do have the words in black, and I'm wondering about bringing some of those in somewhere. Like, I love putting them on things like the wings. Put it together. Could put a thank you. Oh, I kind of like the thank you because it's a thank you to both Louisa and Barbara. They put in so much work on the ephemerimba. They really do. I think I like it here. Up there? Here. I think I like it here. Let's have a look. There or there? there. They put on in so much work for this Defemember for us all. And, you know, this year they've gone all out. I mean, they've got a song and everything. How amazing is that? And also it's a thank you to my friend who sent me this dragonfly. So it has double meaning, which I think works really well on this piece. Oh yes, I just think that just sets that off now. Its little body wants to keep going underneath. I think that just really sets that off, that piece. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And we could still have because I haven't added enough words, have I? We could still have note to self, create art. I'm going to put that on there, note to self. Yeah. Because sometimes we sit there thinking, I don't have time, or I'm not really inspired today. And sometimes it's about just doing it, just getting up and playing at your table, making time for yourself, making time for your creativity, making time to just, even if it's just, and I say just because actually this is art too, even if you're just collaging scraps and making a masterboard, I find that's one of the best ways, guys, to really get your mojo flowing again when it's stopped, is just, oh yeah, I'm so glad I added that there actually, note to self. And that would go all the way there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's just an easy way to sit at your table, and especially at times of the year where everything is so busy and we can feel guilty about taking some time for ourselves and doing what really brings us joy, which, you know, if you're watching this video, it's probably creating. It's probably being a crafter, or again, it could be a reader like me. And it's just taking that time out for yourself. So note to self, create art. And there's so many amazing creators out there who I get inspired by. And that's another great way when you're lacking mojo, or you're a bit like, well, I want to craft, but I really don't know what to do today. Just watch one of your favourite creators, and then often you'll get some sort of inspiration, and it doesn't have to be exactly what they're creating. Create with what you have. I am a big believer, and I try to constantly inspire you guys to make sure you're creating with what you have in your own stash. So even though this was inspired, admittedly I went and bought the little skirt because I didn't have a denim skirt, but it was super cheap. So and it has that lace on it, which is going to be fun. Now, do I add gold splatters? I'm going to have to, aren't I? I'm just going to have to add some gold splatters, because it just would not be a Barbara piece without gold splatters. We've got gold on here in places, but I don't even know, I'm going to be honest, how well the gold splatters are going to show up, because obviously this is fabric, so I don't know how well they're going to show up, but we're going to add them. And I don't use the paint, I use again what I have, and I've been using this Winsor & Newton gold ink. I find that I really like how this splatters. I'm going to use my smaller splatter brush. I like how this splatters, and I am first though going to put on my gloves, because when I splatter anything it goes absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to pull my cardie up, my little Christmas cardie that I'm wearing. Look, you can tell I've already inked with these and things. I'm just going to get my gloves, and we're just going to add a few gold splatters. And to begin with, I do like to splatter off to the side because I just like to make sure that I'm not getting really big blobs like that. So I like to splatter off to the side first. And we can even add some more to the butterfly's wings. And I will put all that ink back in the bowl. And let's remove, first of all, let's clean my hands with the cloth. And then let's remove these. Actually, that gold has worked really well on that fabric. And I'm super surprised, but also extremely happy with that. So, hold on. So I'm so happy with that, guys. I love the gold on the denim, even on the already gold dragonfly wings and on the canvas fabric. I just really love how that looks. Now it is a pocket, so I was wondering about putting my little like snippet tag or something in there, which I can do, and it does give me more texture. But right now I don't mind leaving that as it is. So there we go, guys. I have made today's prompt, which was, when I can find the list, oops, sorry for nudging you, was altered pocket and texture fragments. And I've been inspired completely by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies today. We've used an altered pocket from a skirt, which I think works so great. We've learnt that the Tim Holtz rub-ons actually work on denim, which is fabulous. And stamping, it's better to use brighter, bigger stamps, because the 785 works really well, but you can't really see a lot of the other stamping, but it's kind of there to give it texture. And yeah, we've used something beloved, this little dragonfly moves, which I love. Same with the thread, it's held on with the brad, but it also moves, which is brilliant. We've got our 49. We've got things Barbara loves. She's working with bright colours. She loves gold. She loves dragonflies, and she loves working with denim. And we've used texture fragments, some vintage, like this book spine piece there. So I think this covers all the prompts. It's a bit different to the other pieces that I've done in here so far, because it's got that brightness. I've mainly been working with more, obviously, kind of vintage colours with pops of green and red. But it's just fun to have something a little different in here, and something that means a lot to me for different reasons. And again, I was thinking about putting my little texture, my added, that might even work. We could just make a tag out of that, couldn't we? Should we just do that quickly? I mean, I'm looking at it. It doesn't even need anything on there. But this is also made with texture fragments, so it might be fun to kind of use it in here too. And let's just trim the edge because it's going to be a tag. I mean, it doesn't need it, but we have it, so why not use it up? This is the last of the one that I made for the other prompt, and it just kind of fits in there too. So that works, and I can write on the back of it what inspired me and what this page kind of represents to me. So that would fit in there too. So that's it for now, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this one. And as I said, if you have a favourite creator or a couple of favourite creators, you could combine a page. This is a great way to kind of do a page that may be a little bit of you, but maybe things you haven't tried before because you're being inspired specifically by them. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and comment down below, because I love hearing your comments. And yeah, a big thank you again to Barbara and Louisa for creating Defember, and Barbara for inspiring me to use some things that I haven't used before. I love the fact that the rub-ons work on this. I love it. It's game changing for me. Yeah, we got some pops of pink and everything. So that's it for now. I'll be back again soon with another video. But until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.